Jambo, good people, welcome to the Africa Diaspora News Channel. I'm your host, African Tigress from Nairobi, Kenya, here to keep you up to date with everything happening across the motherland or issues of interest to the motherland. So in case you're new here, kindly consider subscribing and tap the bell for notification so that you will always get notified whenever we are posting. One of our greatest undoing as the black community, as the black people across the globe, is lack of unity. And this has costed us a lot of times. As you always know, divide and conquer always works. Some two Kenyan lawyers have filed a suit at the East African Court to stop Kenya from getting into a trade deal with the USA. In March this year, Trump's administration made it public that they were going to engage in a comprehensive trade treaty with Kenya, and it was going to involve a lot of exports and imports. However, these two lawyers argue that if Kenya gets into this trade treaty with the United States, it is a violation of the East African Community Treaty and regulations, which Kenya is a part of. Kenya's free trade deal with the United States of America has been challenged before the East Africa Court of Justice days after the two countries opened negotiations on duty-free imports. According to the two lawyers, the agreement between Kenya and the US will lead to a flooded market, with Uganda and Tanzania being the biggest casualties. In a case filed to the Kenya's Attorney General and the East African Community Secretary, the applicants challenge that the agreement exposes the region to a flood of imported goods from the US. In February, Kenya and the US announced that they were pursuing an FTA that would be used as a model for similar deals between America and other African countries. In the deal, which is now being challenged before the court, Kenya agreed to lift its decade-long sanctions against US wheat. Kenya had for 12 years blocked importation of cereals from the United States due to a wheat disease known as flag spot. The lawyers want the court to annul the deal, in particular prohibit the US from exporting its wheat and grains to Kenya. Kenya's move to enter a bilateral trade pact to the United States and the effects of the global coronavirus pandemic on the region have worsened the decline of trade and diplomatic relationships within the East African community. Experts now fear that the East Africa community, one of the world's most progressive economic blocs, is headed for disintegration. A lot of times we are talking about one Africa, one currency, one leadership. You all know all those things that you talk about when you're talking about one Africa. But I believe such kind of treaties or such kind of agreements, when a country independently or singles itself out and goes to make such treaties, you don't even have the power to negotiate. You don't have as much as they can be able to export to your country. I don't know who is going to be the biggest winner or who is going to gain the most from this trade deal. Of course, they will always brand it and market it and say it's the best for Kenya. But then, look at this. How are we going to negotiate better as Africans when we are singling ourselves out? And this coming from Kenya, it's quite disappointing because the rest of the East African countries feel left out. We always have this trade agreement in East Africa that, we can trade with our neighbors easily and all that. And for Kenya to just go ahead and sign a deal with the United States, I believe this is actually going to affect the relationship between Kenya and her neighbors, because our neighbors will feel as if we have betrayed them. As much as we talk about one Africa, one currency, one leadership, well, I think that is not going to happen any soon, as long as we have the current crop of leaders who are, the heads of these African nations. Can you imagine having such leaders at the head? We will all be sold again. I would love to know your thoughts and opinion about this issue. Do you think it is fair for Kenya to get into a trade agreement with the United States while violating the East African Community regulations and treaty? Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly share it out so that you can educate a brother and a sister. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, African Tigress, where I share such and more content coming from the continent. I also have amazing live streams and conversations every single day. Go ahead, let's do this. So until next time, kwaheri.